Spirit Talkers is brought to you by Southwest Trading Company. Southwest Trading Company is located in Tulsa, Oklahoma at 1306 East 11th Street. Southwest Trading Company is an indigenous-owned business. They have a lot of items like jewelry, blankets, clothing, art, home decor, collectibles, and so much more. Go follow and like their Facebook page to keep up with all events at the store and where they may be setting up. And once again, that is Southwest Trading Company, located in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 1306 East 11th Street. Let them know Spirit Talkers sent you. This podcast is brought to you by Native Co. Bead and Supply, a Native-owned and operated craft supply store, founded to give Native artists a way to craft and sustain their creative minds in helping everyone create indigenously. You can shop online at nativecobeadsupply.com or in store at 520 West 12th Street, Ada, Oklahoma, and let them know Spirit Talkers sent you. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Spirit Talkers once again.
What's up? What's up?
We're back. We hope you liked our last episode about good old Alabama.
Yep. And
we're going to probably look more into going deeper into those cryptids. Because like I said in that one, that was never heard of them. I heard of Bigfoot, obviously, but the other ones were really cool to hear about. So I'd love to dive deep more into everything that goes into them.
Yep.
And and the band Alabama.
Yep. We need them as a theme song for that one.
The theme song. But quick announcements before we get into this one. It's gonna be a great episode, another state episode, but once again, coming up on the 12th, October 12th, will be the Alternative Market in Owasso, and that's Mackenzie Lawfer, her market. We're going to be there live. I think we might just be going live on TikTok, and then we'll probably have people come and tell us stories on that. So, I mean, join us on TikTok at Spirit_Talkers, and then even come hang out with us over there. I think we're allowed to sell merch and stuff, so we might have some merch. I don't know. But we're just going to go hang out and tell some scary stuff.
We might have them Thunderbolt uns.
Yeah. And then, so that'll be October 12th. I almost said August. And also, Pawnee Nation Roundhouse will be there October 19th. Got some prizes for the best stories. Got amazing food from Autumn Star Catering. And it's going to be a good night.
Yep.
It's going to be a good night.
Sure enough.
Yeah. So today we'll be talking about Alaska.
That's right. We're going to talk about our Alaskan people up that way. You know, they got a lot of places to go visit. Alaska's huge, though, and a lot of the places up there, they're remote, and during wintertime, it's even more remote than the remote it is during tourist season, so they got a lot of places up there that there's nobody even goes, so they got a lot of haunted places, just a lot of history up that way. There's a lot of different tribes up there too. I want to say, there's quite a bit, and everybody, for whatever reason, they always say just Eskimo, and they blanket everybody, but you got a lot of different tribes up there, and they all got different ways, and all got different stories. But again, we just go over just a few of them. But a lot of these places, they're just the haunted places that maybe you have heard of, or maybe you haven't heard of. You ever get a chance to go up to Alaska, this might be a place that you might want to go see. I know a lot of you guys are conference Indians. Y'all go to every conference out there. And I know Alaska hosts a lot of conferences up that way. So if you get a chance to go, that might be a good one. The first one we're going to talk about is this historic Alaskan hotel in Juneau. It's known for hauntings, specifically the haunting of room 315. The current owner, Betty Adams, has owned the hotel for past 40 years, and she is even scared of the room. When asked about the room, she said, it's creepy, I've never seen anything, but I feel things. The room is decorated as though it's still in the early 20th century. The beds are covered in old floral print sheets, and there's a portrait of two women who appear to have been working girls. The room has always been reportedly haunted, but it wasn't until 2007 that the first notable scary incident took place. After a Navy ship docked in Juneau, several Navy soldiers needed a place to stay overnight on short notice. The Alaskans said that they could house them, but one particular soldier had sent an email requesting their haunted room. Upon request, he was put up in room 315 for the night. The night there was a ton of celebration and noise in the downstairs bar. This was the first time in a long time that many of the soldiers have been off the ship. Through the night, a man in the room below 315 claimed that the guest had jumped since he heard glass shatter, and even his own hotel room window shattered. Police officers had to break down the door of 315, and what they saw was blood splattered all over the walls. An odd sighting, considering that the sailor supposedly jumped. The incident was kept quiet for many years, and miraculously the sailor survived his injuries. No one really knows what happened.
Now, Chris, have you been to Alaska?
Actually, I have. I've been to that Juneau area.
Have you?
But I didn't stay at that hotel. I didn't know anything about that. But if I ever get another chance to go back to Juneau, I definitely will check that place out. Juneau, it's the capital of Alaska, so there's a lot of things in the area. It's a popular place, but it's not that big, to be honest. But you do, just like any city, you got your rough ends, and then you got your tourist attractions, and then you got the common areas. And to me, that Juneau's just old, and even the town itself just has a weird vibe to me. I don't know, just walking those streets and going around in the area, just has an eerie vibe. So I've always had a good time when I've went there, and I've always thought about trying to go and do like ghost investigations or what in the area. But usually when I'm up there, I'm like super busy. I don't really have time to do anything, but I've always wanted to because of the feeling of that place. The whole place. I don't care where you go. It's just got a weird vibe all over it. So I don't know. It's just crazy. But I would like to go back now that I know that hotel is haunted. A lot of these places I've been to, I don't know till way after I've already left. Then somebody said, "Well, did you go here or did you go stay there?" So what's wrong with you? I thought you was a paranormal guy. I thought I said, "Well, I didn't know. If I would have known, I would have checked it out. But this was one of them I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that, So anyway, it's been a while since I've been up that way, but I'd really like to go check it out though.
Yeah. Paranormal guy you didn't know?
I know it. Dang it.
It's getting in trouble.
I know people get mad. Why did you go over there? Like, dang, I didn't know. You should have told me.
Can't read your mind.
I know. They talk about there's also a store over, I forgot what street it is down there in Juneau. They also said that was supposedly super haunted. Why didn't I go check that out? But again, I didn't know. There's several places in Juneau that are notoriously haunted. And now that I know, shoot, next time I go, I'm hitting all those places. So I just think that's pretty cool, especially this hotel. Again, this hotel has a lot of stories, not only of that haunted room at 315, but it's got I don't know what you call it, like a common area or a parlor. I don't know what you call it, but they talk about at night, when things close down, you'll see shadows in there. You'll also see or hear voices and hear singing in there. And they said there's a lot of people that have experienced that in that hotel. And I thought, dang, I wish I would have known that then. But
yeah,
again, it's just an opportunity. If you're in that area, go check out that hotel. Let us know.
For real, man. Yeah,
I know we got a lot of listeners up in that area. If you guys have any stories of that place, let us know. Or if you know any other place in the area, or if you can go over there and verify for us. If you guys don't want to send us up there, go verify for us and see if you guys can catch any of that singing or go in that room. Was it 315?
315, yeah. Yeah, I was going to say that if somebody can check in, stay in that room, and then it'd be cool to, I don't know, maybe
that ghost gonna throw them out the window.
Call us or something, or go live or something, and just kind of tag us, and we can watch.
You see that ghost, pick them up, go,
slap that phone on the ground.
But yeah, I think that like I said, if you're in that Juneau area, you know what I'm talking about. It just got weird vibes. So I don't know. I know there's a lot of tourist things to do up there and stuff, but I don't know. That's one of those places that just gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't know why, but again, I know there's a lot of history up there, and I'm sure the tribes that are in that area probably got stories of the place. So if you're from that area and you got a story, send it to us.
Yeah, send it to us. We'll be happy to read it and even just hear everything y'all got to say.
Yep. The next one we're going to talk about is the Red Onion Saloon, and I'm going to let Russell read that one.
I can say the Red Uns.
Go! No, got that lightning bolt. Go.
Let's see. The Red Onion Saloon was opened in 1898. Today, it also doubles as a brothel museum. If you walk into the saloon today, you will be transported back in time to 1898. As everything is almost as it was all those years ago, the museum's employees are even dressed in 1898 saloon girls' costumes to add to the eerie ambiance. Although the saloon museum is full of laughter, joy, and entertainment today, it wasn't always like that. During the height of the gold rush, the saloon formed a dark, oppressive history. Working girls were subjected to sickness, disease, unwanted pregnancy, and potentially death. However, many of them needed that career to live, and the only way out was through marriage. One particular brother worker who is said to still haunt the Red Onion is named Lydia. A resentful spirit who was wronged during her time as a working girl. Some say that she committed suicide over catching an STD from one of the men she attended to. Today, she is said to play tricks on men who go into the saloon while being kind to any woman who enters, often caressing her hair. Lydia also wore very heavy perfume that was a floral scent. Sometimes current patrons can smell her perfume lingering in the air.
Dang, that's cool. That's I've been places where they have that haunted smell. Whether it's perfume or cigars or cigarettes, or I've been in a place where it has a haunted BO, and again, I just think that's crazy. That they put their essence in that room.
That brings up like a question of like, you ever go to like antique stores, and in some of those spots you smell like that, kind of like that BO smell, and then I've smelled that, and then I've walked in that same spot and it was gone. I've never thought of, but I mean that stuff's so old too, like in antique stores.
Yeah,
and you bring that up, and it's like, wow, like that essence and that smell. I mean, you just think it's like, oh, it's old stuff, so it probably has that scent on it.
Yeah. But
then thinking about it, it's like it wasn't there the second time I was there.
Dang.
So, like, I mean, I don't know, man. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. I never even thought of that.
Unless that one stink guy went running through there that one time, and that was it.
That stink guy.
That stink guy like that. No, I'm just kidding. But no, there's places that, they'll have that odor, and it'll be frequent, and it don't stay in one spot. It moves.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think.
Well, you can tell the difference, too. Like, it's not like, I don't know, like you, not going to mention no names. No, I'm just kidding.
So that one stink guy.
that one person that stinks all the time. No, but
you know who you are. No.
No, but you could tell like the difference of like that, and then like that older type. I would say ancient. No, just kidding.
Ancient meal. God.
I'm just kidding. No, but it's like it's ancient meal. That ancient body. No, it's like you can tell the difference of like. It's not current being no. It's when they made Old Spice. They had to get all the spices from old and create Old Spice.
Dang it.
Travel the world and get all these spices in order to make Old Spice. No, but like it's just like that old, all that stuff there. And I mean, if you go into like, I don't know, just these old workstations maybe, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just like different. It's not like, oh, it's just somebody standing there.
Yeah.
When there's no one there, and it's just like, you just kind of get a whiff of it. Mm-hmm. And then you go back, maybe you're walking back around and you don't have that whiff no more. So, I mean, it was just like you were saying, it's just that essence, that smell, like they're strong enough to be there, perfume, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And I've never thought of it like that. And then even, I hear people sometimes when they're somewhere and they smell cedar, and it's like, I've heard stuff like that too, so, I mean, I'll tell you, like, I put some tobacco and cedar out for my dad, like, the night he passed on. And so what's crazy is like, I was talking to my mom the next day because she called me and she was asking me like what's going to happen, because she wanted to try to come to his funeral and stuff. And so I was just like, I don't know. Like I was still like trying to think of what to do next and how to handle stuff. And then I told her, I was like, well, I mean, as soon as he passed on, maybe a few hours later, I put some cedar and tobacco out for him. And she was like, you know what's crazy? She said, yes, like, she said, I was just up and I was just thinking about him and stuff. And she said, you know what's crazy? Like around 4 a.m., I smelled cedar in the house. And so I was just like, wow. And I was like, yeah, I put cedar out probably around 2 or 3 a.m. for him and stuff. And so, and she mentioned that. And she was like, it's probably him. He's probably going around, you know, like.
Yep.
Is that kind of what happens?
Yeah. Yeah, that's correct.
I was wanting to ask you about that too.
Yeah. That's like I said, there's places that you go that's the telltale sign of those spirits being around. They'll have their essence, you know, some of them will say, you know, they'll smell like a cigar or cigarette, or, you know, some places even whiskey. Mm-hmm. You know, certain whiskey that individual like to drink or whatever, and those spirits walk by and you'll just smell them, you know, for just that short second, and then they're gone. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've been to a place, and I can't remember which powwow it was, but they talked about this one area in their arena, and I guess a long time ago, a lady had a heart attack and passed away over there, you know, in their arena. Mm-hmm. And anyway, they say every now and then, you know, you walk by that area or you're in that area, you will smell that scent of her perfume, because she had this certain perfume that she liked to wear, and you'll smell that, you know, and they'll know that she's, you know, come back, or she visited. And the family, you know, was close to that area. They always kind of set their chairs and stuff there, and they say if somebody tells them, or they, you know, get that, then they'll do the appropriate measures to, you know, give that spirit something. So yeah, that's pretty common, you know, when you're looking at that, not only the sight but the smell of the individual as well.
Ancient BL, let's get.
Yeah. So when that one guy walks by, like, oh, dang. But the other one that we were wanting to talk about is the 4th Avenue Theater in Anchorage, Alaska. The 4th Avenue Theater was completed in 1947. Following the end of the World War II, it was glamorous 960-seat theater until the 1980s, when it was transformed into a place to host banquets and meetings. However, it must be noted that it still appears outwardly to be a theater. Today, locals claim that the theater is haunted by the spirit of a woman. Her ghostly figure has been seen in reflections of the long mirrors between the woman's and the men's washroom. In 1964, there was an earthquake in Anchorage, Alaska, that hit where the theater is located. The theater was in operation at that time and was put on lockdown. 131 people in the area died as a result of the quake, so it's very possible that the ghostly woman is a lost soul from the natural disaster. Unfortunately, the defunct and long-closed theater was unable to be saved after several attempts at remodeling over the years. It was finally demolished in 2022, but who knows what spirits will still linger on the property. You know, again, you know, I was asked this question just a while back. You know, they were saying, what happens, you know, if you have a haunted house or you know, something bad happened on that property? Is it still there even though you might have tore down the building? You know, again, you know, you have to kind of remember when we talked about residual type hauntings. And residual hauntings is basically like a recording in the air. So it doesn't matter if the building's still there or not. It just still replays in that time. And even in fact, some people will say that they'll have visions, or they will be in that building or house that used to be there. It's like a dream to them. And this is a kind of a common haunted, interaction or thing that you'll hear. I hear a lot of stories like that. Like, for example, somebody will say, I thought I was in this place, and when I left, I came back, there was nothing there but a field. Or I've heard stories where, somebody has taken them to a house and they dropped them off and they went inside, they left and they went back to wherever, and they come back by, there's no house or anything on that property. So again, they consider that more a residual, because it doesn't really have too much interaction, but what it does is it's just replaying. And even though it might ask you for a ride, or it might converse with you for a little bit, the outcome is still the same. You go to a house or you go to a building, and then you come back and it's no longer there. You either drop a person off or you pick that person up, and then they're gone. So anyway, I'd still like to go see that. There's a place in Tulsa that I've been, I know a few people's asked me to go and check it out, and it's a famous haunted house, but it's no longer standing there. But again, they say that they have supernatural interaction in that, I don't know what you call it, property. The house, there's no building there anymore. But they still hear noises, they still hear knocks, they still hear footsteps, they'll see people, they'll hear people. And I've been wanting to check it out, but I just haven't had a chance. So maybe one of these times, maybe me and Russell can just go down there and check it out. It's down near downtown Tulsa. I can't think of the name of the place right now, but it's here in Tulsa. But there's a lot of stories about that place. I think they call it the Hex House, if I remember correctly. It was an old house, and I might have this wrong, so don't butcher me on it. But I think my understanding, somebody was put in the basement. They were basically starved to death. And this person that owned the house did that to a lot of people.
Wow.
On that property. That's the Hex House. And that's actually where they get the story from, the haunted house that they do every year called the Hex House.
Oh.
And that's the story behind that. I've been asked to go over there, to check it out. I just haven't had a chance. But if you've had your experience in that area where it's at, let me know, because again, I think that's fascinating. So I don't know.
Yeah, let us know. Yeah, we'll be over there. I'll be outside waiting. Okay.
Another thing I wanted to say about Anchorage, it's like Juneau too. It's a major city in Alaska. There's a lot of different tribes that go there. It's a real business, I don't know how you say, town. It's pretty good size. I mean, it's not super huge, but it's a city, and of course you got your good side, and then you got your bad side, then you got your tourist side, and then you have your art side, where they have all the museums and art galleries and stuff like that, and again, it just has a funny vibe to that, place. It's just weird. And when I was there, it's just like I was always feel like I was always watched, or someone was always in the room with me. And I'd like when I'd go to my hotel, I would think, there's someone in there. Or I'd go to sleep, middle of the night, I felt like there was someone in the room, and I'd get up, I'd look around, there's nobody there. I'd go back to sleep, or I'd go get something to drink, or, turn the TV on, so I could sleep, have that background noise, kind of get that thought out of my head, I'd go back to sleep. So I've been up there a couple of times too, and again, everybody's telling me about different places of Anchorage, that was haunted. Why didn't you go here? Why didn't you go there? Well, I didn't know at the time, but I did go to a few places. But anyway, that was pretty interesting. But our next one is the Snow City Cafe, and I'm going to let Russell read that one.
Snow City Cafe is a cute and quaint cafe with delicious sandwiches and soups. Outwardly, it appears to be like any other cafe. However, you would never guess that it has its very own ghostly guest. A woman named Muriel was murdered on September 30th, 1976. Outside of her office building... murdered on September 30th, 1976, outside of her office building where the cafe now stands place. She was leaving work like any other day, but when she stepped into her car, it exploded. Her ex-husband had wired her car with a bomb while she was at work, and the explosion resulted in her untimely death. Today, Muriel's ghost haunts the cafe in the late evening hours. She is known by the employees to turn the water faucets on and off in the various sinks. She's not a malevolent ghost by any means, just a playful one who wants to make her presence known.
I've heard a lot of stories about this place. They don't only think it's that lady that haunts that place, but they have two other individuals that are in that place that haunts it. Mm-hmm. One of them's an old worker of the cafe, and the other one was like a long-time customer, in there. Mm-hmm. And they believe both of them still haunt that place, and they move things around, and it's very active. There's even videos of inside that cafe that, the chair scoots back, or you'll see something messing with the napkins, or it moves plates around. Mm-hmm. And to me, if I ever get another chance to go to Anchorage, this is a place I'd like to go, at least eat some BLT. No. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I'd like to go visit that because of the activity, that is said about this place. They talk about even in the kitchen that, it moves things around. It'll, like you put something here and you'll find it, clear across the kitchen, I'm thinking, dang, why don't I have them ghosts wash them dishes? No, I'm just kidding. No.
Help out.
I know it. Cook that dish. No. So you might have a ghost cooking your meal when you go in there. No. Making your sandwich. No. But yeah, that they have a lot of stories about that place, and I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It'd be, another Anchorage place too, like you're talking about. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just like the theater.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool though. I like that. We have one on the West High School. I'll let Russell read that one.
West High School appears to be like any other high school, clad with lockers, busy high schoolers, and sports fields. However, its auditorium is grand and lavish, so beautiful that you wouldn't imagine it in a high school. Besides its beauty, the only thing unfitting about this high school auditorium is that it has a very well-known ghostly presence. She's said to be a lady in white who only haunts the auditorium of Anchorage West High School. No other room She's been seen by students, teachers, and visitors alike for decades now. Occasionally, she can be seen standing quietly amid the dark seats, almost out of eyeshot. Other times, she has been spotted running through corridors and haunting backstage. To this day, no one knows who the spirit is. Man, that'd be pretty intense to see that.
This is a place I actually been to. I was up there doing surveys.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a place that I was set up at. And I had a table. And I actually heard the story of this spirit and also of the auditorium. They didn't just talk about the woman that haunted it, but, you know, they had a few, children ghosts. And my understanding, too, might have went back to that earthquake or something, but they were telling me, and I can't remember the full story again, so don't get upset if I get it wrong, but for whatever reason, they use that auditorium for like a makeshift hospital or something like that, just temporary.
Mm-hmm.
And my understanding that, you know, some of those people that were in there, they didn't die in there, but they died after they left. Like they were transporting him somewhere else, and on their transport they passed. And so my understanding, that auditorium is super haunted. When I was there doing surveys, there was times that it was just me, and I did hear voices and I heard things walking around in that auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't know the story till after I left, and then they told me all that other stuff about the auditorium, about the woman in white and all that. But I didn't see nothing, but I did hear things.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's pretty cool. I'd like to go back and actually, now that I know the information, that would be kind of cool if I could kind of, you know, put A and B together.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, should have known, Chris.
I know it.
Yeah, it would be crazy to see, like, well, I mean, haunted high school and stuff like that. Trying to think back, I don't think Pawnee had any hauntings. Have you heard of it, like Pawnee High School, the auditorium? Have you heard anything over there?
I haven't heard anything, but I wouldn't doubt it because, I mean, I know you guys have had funerals over there once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the way with a lot of these small-time high schools. When they have maybe too big of a funeral service, they use like the gyms, you know, to do those.
Sure.
A lot of small towns, they've done this. Mm-hmm. And so, and again, you've had youth pass away, you know, and the schools are pretty much, you know, where these children or high school students or middle school students, they like to be at, you know. So it makes sense to me for them to kind of hang out in these areas, you know. So anyway, to me it only makes sense that, you know, they always talk about school spirit. That's school spirit right there. So,
True. Yeah.
You know, so some just can't let it go, you know. So next one is the White House Bed and Breakfast in Bethel, Alaska. The 1902 White House Bed and Breakfast was once a hospital, a daycare, and a hotel. However, in the 1980s, the building was set aflame and sat a while before being restored. Following the restoration, apparitions began to appear. One well-known ghost is that of a younger woman. She is friendly and chatty with children. According to recent guests of the bed and breakfast, this has led some to believe that she was the former owner of the daycare, returning to her beloved job after death. Now, like I said before, Bethel itself is, kind of a small community. Mm-hmm. And I've been through there a long time ago. And to me, I hate to keep saying this, but a lot of those places in Alaska, again, I don't know if it's just because they look different or, they're kind of, I don't know, in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if that's why it is, or just because I don't mean it in a bad way. It just looks weird, like a weird place. Mm-hmm. It just has a weird vibe to it. And I know there's tribal people all around that Bethel area, and I can't remember what tribes are in that Bethel area, but I know they got some, so and those tribal people, they got some out there stories. So anyway, Bethel's probably one of those I don't know, place I'd like to go back. Again, Bethel has a lot of haunted places there, so even though it's a small community, it's got a lot of stuff that haunts that area.
True. Yeah. I'd like to go somewhere in Alaska. I don't know. Is it were you there when, I don't really know, like the whole dark, like month of dark or something, month of daytime?
Yeah.
Were you there any of those times?
Yeah, I was there for a year.
And really?
So I did see that portion where it's dark all the time and day all the time. But I don't know, it's just weird. You just gotta be up there. Maybe that might be why it just has that kind of they have those northern lights up there too.
Oh yeah.
And they all got stories about those northern lights. Some of them say you're not even supposed to look at it. You're not supposed to talk to it or sing to it, or they got all kinds of things you're not supposed to do to those northern lights. And so anyway, I don't know. It just, Alaska is its own place. So it's just, I don't know if it's because the people are they're just different up there. Even those tribes are different. They just got different ways, and a lot of them they're how you say, you still got a lot of fluent speakers up there, and so they're just, I don't know. I don't want to say, I don't know how I could say it, but they got traditional ways up there. That's practiced pretty regularly. They're like the Navajos down here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they still got that. They got their ways up there, so they got a lot of stories, a lot of ceremonies, a lot of things, that they do as people. And they got a lot of superstition. There's things that you're supposed to do and not do, during the day, morning, and night. So,
wow.
Again, I think that's a cool place to go visit. Beautiful country, beautiful. Not that I'm knocking Alaska. I think it's very beautiful. When you want to go see nature, that's the place to go. And I like it because of the cold weather. They got pretty cold weather, and it's pretty nice up there, and got good food. So they eat a lot of moose. It cracks me up there. You go to restaurants up there, they got reindeer. I think about down this way, eating reindeer hamburgers, reindeer hot dogs. But man, what's Santa do? No.
Dang, I didn't know you're up there for a year.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was up there for a year and doing surveys around there, and it's pretty beautiful country. You got clear water down there. You can see them fish. There's places that you can see whales. It's just beautiful country up there. You can see, they got Kodiak Island up there with those great huge bears,
Mm-hmm.
They got stories about them things too, and like I said, it's just a cool place to go. So if you ever get a chance, I say go up there.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I will.
There you go.
And I'll know everything to go look for.
Ah. The next one we're going to talk about is Igloo City Hotel, but I'll let Russell read that one.
Igloo City Hotel has been abandoned since 2005. It was once a 4-story hotel with 58 rooms in the shape of an igloo. This hotel, though, was never truly successful. It had issues with building codes, and there wasn't much capital to pump into it for true success. Now, the large structure can be found covered in graffiti with broken windows and is often used as a restroom by many who pass through. Let's just say it smells worse than New York sidewalks in the summertime. Aside from its depleted appearance, the hotel is also rumored to be haunted by a female ghost. She is often seen peering out the cracked windows of the hotel, and some believe she used to be a native of the area. I might get this wrong. Baggage Towers in Whittier, Alaska. The small town of Whittier, Alaska has a population of 273 people. Of those 273 people, 215 of them live in Baggage Towers, a 14-story condominium that also houses churches and other public conveniences. The most known ghosts that haunt the condominium are that of a man who strolls throughout the entire building and whistles, and that of a man whose loud stomping can be heard when everyone is asleep. Whittier itself is practically a ghost town, too littered with abandoned buildings and practically desolate during the winter months.
Yep. I wanted to go back to that Igloo
City Hotel.
If you get to see the picture of that place, man, it's humongous.
Really?
It's huge, but it looks spooky. And I wish I would have known about that place. I would have liked to have gone visit that place, Again, there's a lot of stories about, you'll see apparitions walking up and down those hallways. You'll hear things opening doors, knocking on doors.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see people standing in windows, they say. You take pictures of that place on the outside, you'll see faces, all over it. So, I don't know. To me, that would be an ideal place to go visit. But also the towers is the same way. They got a lot of stories about that place too. They talk about hearing, people talking and people moving around, and a lot of people in the area. They've got a lot of stories of that place of seeing people, interacting with them, turning around, and then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I don't know, those spirits in both those places are pretty active, and my understanding of both those places are kind of out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I like to hear the whistling man.
Me too. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, we had that when we investigated that museum in Pawhuska. That was what they sent us. It was that what they think it was a soldier whistling. Oh man, that tune. Man, I forgot the tune. But it's like dun, 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 dun. When Johnny comes marching home.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Go. And so that was that video they sent us was a woman was working there and she heard ruckus, and then it was like whistling, and it was that tune that was being whistled, and it was caught on video, and nobody was there except for her. And so that was interesting to see, but reading this reminded me of that, and then the person stomping, and then you said people talking, and then it's just a lot of activity going on.
Yeah,
at those towers.
That would definitely be a place I would like to go visit.
Should have went there, Chris.
I don't know that. Dang.
There for 10 years.
God.
No, I was kidding.
Man. Now I'm hoping to have an education conference up there now. God. Anybody on NIEA think about Anchorage, Alaska again? No.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No. I'm putting that ripple out there for you guys. No. Next place is Buckner Building, but I'll let Russell read that one.
Also located in Whittier, the Buckner Building once functioned as a bunker to protect troops during World War II. It held a title as the largest building in Alaska for many years. It was 275,000 square feet, 25,548 square meters, and intended to house potentially thousands of soldiers. However, in 1966, the military left and the large structure was left virtually abandoned. To this day, no one has done a single thing with it. Although it may be shocking in other states to waste space that large, it makes sense with Whittier's 273 person population. Today, no one is allowed to go into the deteriorating building, yet those who were able to visit the building prior to that rule claim that it is haunted. In 2018, an EVP of a ghost was captured in the building saying something crude. Still, to believe it, you'll have to listen for yourself on the Fun Employment Radio podcast. Considering the size of the building and the deaths that occurred there, it's understandable why this building is known as one of the most haunted places in Alaska.
Again, if you get to see the picture of this place, the picture alone looks super scary. So, I mean, I would love to go to this place and check it out. Just stay the night, and see what we can find, But again, there's a lot of stories about, the activity in this place. You got workers that'll leave. They won't stay the night. They can't even, they'll quit after one day, So again, to me, this is one of the places that, everybody talks about. Place to go visit if you're in Alaska, just to go see, for as far as history goes. But, like I said, it's a pretty spooky place. So
I was trying to find that EVP on here from that podcast, but I can't even find that podcast.
Dang, it was Ghost Podcast.
Fun Employment Radio Podcast. Okay. But, I mean, that population of that town, it's not even 273. That's a little town.
Yeah, it is.
Have you been to that town?
Not that I can recall, but, again, I'd love to go up there and check it out. So, anybody want to send us up there? I'll be game.
We'll stay there.
Stay the night, even.
We'll stay there, go to sleep, wake up the next day.
Make fried bologna sandwiches.
We'll be rejuvenated.
Yeah.
I found this podcast, but it's hard to say. It's weird. 2023 is like when they started, but in this document it says in 2018, that's when the EVP was captured. So I wish I could find it. It's not letting me. I don't know. They might be lying, Chris. I don't know.
Yeah.
To get that clout.
Yeah.
No, but that'd be pretty cool to go there and see that. But would they let us in since it's so deteriorated? And
what they don't know won't hurt them. God, no.
What they don't hear on here won't hurt them.
Mm-hmm. Sure enough. No.
That'd be pretty cool, though. Being in that little town, investigating, and I'm sure we'd have to sign something to be like, "Oh yeah, it's cool. We won't sue." fall down somewhere.
God, get captured by one of those ghosts. End up being the ghost in there. No. Dang, there's a movie like that. What is that? Rose Red, or that house will turn you into a ghost and you be in that house for the rest of your.
Dang, that sounds familiar.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I think that's the way it goes. Yeah, again, Alaska has a lot of these little, they call them little communities, little towns. And, like that one town, only got 280 people. They're small like that, and they're secluded areas. They're either by the beach or way out in the tundra, and not to mention a lot of these tribes that still are off, again, it's just, you go to places there and, man, you ain't got no neighbors or nothing. So I can imagine there's things up there, just, even if it's not real, it could be in your head type stuff, And,
yeah.
To me, it's just, I don't know. I don't want to make it sound scary or anything, because, like I said, Alaska is a pretty country. There's a lot of things to go up there and see and do and things like that. So, again, you get an opportunity. These are a few places, but they also got cryptids up there too. And I got just a few of those written down. They got some different things up there, and I thought it'd be, if you ever get a chance up there, like that first one is that Alaska's Loch Ness Monster in Lake. How would you say that?
I think it's Iliamna. I think.
It's a shark-like creature, and it's in that lake, and a lot of people see that thing, morning, noon, and night. They'll see it. Mm-hmm. And again, it's like I said before, Alaska, it's not like around here where you got a lot of neighbors and you got a lot of stuff here and there,
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff that's far apart. So, and even in these communities, they're not big communities. You got like population 300, or, maybe top, 1,200 people in that area, but they're not all, what do you call it, clustered together, just, bits and pieces here and there. But then that, how would you say that other one? It's the Kuala
Kalapalik, I think. I don't know.
I'm
probably butchering it.
This one's pretty cool. This one I like about it. They have a lot of stories of these things that snatch children, and it's a half woman and a half aquatic creature. It's from the Inuit stories. These guys got stories of you're around the lake or even the ocean, and these things will come out and snatch your children, and some might argue that this is to keep your kids from playing around the shores, but sometimes these things come out of the water. For example, maybe like you're in the vicinity of the lake or the ocean, that thing will come out and snatch them. Like if you have a camp or a hut or something near the water, they always say don't go out there and play, because those things, you're close enough to the water that these things can come and get you. And so to me, I think that's, well, I shouldn't say cool, but I will say very interesting. If I got an opportunity, if anybody wants to send me up there, I'd like to go up there and maybe see if I could catch one of these things, in action. Maybe put Russell out there on that shore. No.
It reminds me of the Huggin' Molly.
Yeah.
To kind of.
You know what? These stories remind me of like those water baby stories.
That too, yeah.
You know, because a lot of their stories, it says it lures you out of the house or out of your camp. It makes you want to go by the water. And then once you get close enough, it gets you. You know, so again, I don't know. To me, I think that's a pretty cool story, you know. They also have their version of Bigfoot. They call him the Bushman up there, or I guess how you say Tornet. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that. Forgive me if I'm butchering that. I know a lot of these, they have just a different language up there, you know, all together, you know, all these different tribes.
Yeah.
The Inuits believe that these creatures descended from a people called the Tornet. And I'm going to let Russell finish reading that.
They used to live in relative harmony with the Inuit until a tornado damaged an Inuit's prize canoe. That Inuit retaliated by killing the tornado, which caused the rest of the tornado population to flee in fear. Today, tornado are rarely seen, but they're blamed for all kinds of havoc that occurs in the wilderness, including crushed traps, missing hunters, and other unexplained events.
Yeah, again, they've got tons of, you know, all the different tribes up there. They have a name for those Bigfoots up there, and some of them say they're playful, and some will say they're helpful. You know, some will even say they're real mischievous. And so, again, you know, to me, they have different type of Bigfoot stories up there. So, again, you know, I think that's very interesting. You know, I'd like to go up there and, you know, see what we could do on finding one of those things. The other one...
It's a hard one, Chris.
Hold on, it's the Emmy Cook. I guess that's, again...
Emma Cook.
Emma Cook.
Something like that.
Comes to us from the Yupik people, who tell the tales of a shape-shifting creature that preys on hunters in kayaks, as well as hunters on land, since it has the ability to swim through the earth as easily as water. To me, these stories are straight up spooky, because again, some of these stories, you know, depending on who you are, it'll come to you as a male or a female, a child, you know. And again, you know, some of these guys, they use the water still today to travel from community to community to get goods and things that they need. You know, it's, again, like, it's not like here where you just go to the local Walmart and get your stuff. You know, sometimes you have to travel a distance to get, you know, basic necessities. And when you go, you I don't know, you stock up. You don't just buy like a bag of chips. You know, you're gonna buy you a month's supply of chips, which I think is pretty keen, because I do that anyway. But
Hit up Costco.
I know it. Hit up Sam's, get that family size big old bag of Doritos. I like cheese puffs though. I'll tear those cheese puffs up. I used to like hot chips, but I can't do that no more. But
it's burning.
I know. Perhaps the most fascinating story, I'll let Russell read that one.
I guess let's just read off where you left off. Story about the Amacook, though, centers around the idea that an Amacook is able to shift into human and pull a sled. However, in this form, it's only able to walk in a straight line. If you're being pursued by an Amacook, your best bet is to sit right in the creature's intended path. The Amakuk will then offer you increasingly incredible gifts to move out of its way. Your best bet is to wait it out until the Amakuk offers you incredible wealth or your heart or your heart's desire. They want to throw.
Damn, it's the Amakuk. It's getting you. It's choking you out. Nah. Then did that Darth Vader move on you.
It felt like it, dang. I was trying to keep going.
I think that's pretty cool, though. You know, I don't know about getting in his face or what did it say, getting in his pathway?
Yeah, well, yeah, it says your best bet is to sit right in the creature's intended path, and then it will offer you increasingly incredible gifts to move out of its way. So I guess you just have to sit there, and because you're gonna get rewarded. So that's what Chris is saying on this. No. But if it's different, let us know.
Video it and send it to us. Yeah. No, they describe this thing as pretty scary, though. Mm-hmm. You know, it's got a real scary looking face. It's kind of a dark creature, you know, and it's wide. They say it's not only tall but wide. So I don't know if you'd want to, you know, I don't know though. If you're gonna get something good out of it,
I mean, if it's incredible wealth or what I desire, I might just have to take that risk, Chris.
Dang,
I might. I don't know.
He might choke you out, guy.
Might need that new voice.
God, he might choke you out.
I think it's the Kushtaka. If I'm wrong, please correct me. The
Clinket.
Mm-hmm. Share stories of the Kushtaka shapeshifters who often appear in the form of an otter or some kind of half-human, half-otter-like creature. In some tellings, the Kushtaka is a helpful guide who provides food and guidance. In other darker versions, Kushtaka appear as friendly otters to lure people to their deaths. They've been known to make human sounds like a baby crying to trick people into following them into dangerous situations. Keep an ear out for the creature's distinctive 3-note whistle. That's your best hint that a Kushtaka is present, even if it looks like a cute little otter.
What I think is cool about this is a thing that whistles at you too.
That too.
You know, and a lot of the stories they say, you know, that's the first telltale sign you'll hear that whistle. Mm-hmm. And some people even think it gets tricked by it because they think it's the wind. Mm-hmm. You know, how the wind sometimes has that kind of, you know, kind of sound. And they'll go out, check it out, and they don't come back. So
dang.
That's why I think that's pretty cool. Now, on that one, I think I'd have to send Russell out to go investigate that one. But I'll have his back. I'll have the video camera. No. Oh, this next one's pretty cool too. The Adalet, half human, half dog. The Adalet comes to us from the Inuit stories, which tell the tale of a race with upper body of a human and the lower body of a dog. As one version of the myth goes, the woman refused all of her suitors to marry her dog husband. In the end, both she and her dog husband perished, suggesting peril to those who choose unconventional marriage. Similar stories of the half-human, half-dog race have been found in other parts of the world, including Greenland, British Columbia, and Siberia.
Dang.
To me, that's pretty cool, too, you know. Again, those, they say that thing roams a lot of the tundra and the woods, mm-hmm. you know, off in that area. So, I don't know.
So is it I guess like what's that similar stories of half human, half dog race have been found? So is there a lot of them, I guess?
My understanding, yeah, because you'll run into it in different parts of Alaska. And it's all over the place. So again, I guess it's pups, populated pretty good, And so my understanding of it, again, this is, how would you say that? I don't know if you'd say a new species or what, but it was a combination of human and dog. A lot of those stories, they'll say they weren't, how you say it, welcomed by the communities, so they kind of kept them out there. And like a wild dog, if you don't train it, it kind of loses its mind and gets wild. So I'm pretty sure that thing's probably like that too. So anyway, but I guess evidently they, I don't know how you say, repopulate or made more of them, I guess. So you'll hear a lot of stories like that. Like they had one in the area, and it just, I don't know, it just stays there. It's territorial. So I don't know, but I think that'd be pretty cool if you could go out and find something like that. I'm sure those natives up there probably got ways of communicating or ways of keeping it at bay too. So I'd like to learn more about those things, but again,
well, it's like here I only ask because like a lot of the times here it's always like there's one cryptid, like, and that's it, like it's solely one. And so nobody really knows if like there's multiple, or because just from that story, that's why I asked that, because it says there was 10 puppies and then 10 of the half dog half humans that were born. And so sometimes it could be like, oh well, just one survived and that one's the one that roams around still and all that. But I know around, I guess here and maybe other places too, there's always stories of dogs walking on their hind legs somewhere, or like dogs with human faces, or like,
down here you'll have like shapeshifters, but then you'll have like the dog man. He was actually how you say, an evil entity that was brought forth. Kind of like those Egyptian type deities. He was like that. He was conjured, and created. And his creation wasn't for good. His creation was to do evil things. Again, some might consider it evil, some might consider it good, depending on how they're using this. So, but I like this one because it has the origin of these things, and they still say they're still out in their woods or their tundra out there, so you can run across these things. And sometimes, some of those stories talk about how these things are just, I don't know how you say, mentally, I don't know what you call it, mentally off. They're just very aggressive too. So I don't know.
Have you ever seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
Man, it's been a long time ago.
Remember that, where they put that guy's head on that dog's body? Remember that part?
Yeah.
I saw a picture of that on Facebook, and I was like, God dang, what is that? And I was going to send it to you, and then I had to look it up, and I was like, man, that's from something. And then it was from the Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
So I looked that scene up too, and then that little dog with that guy's head on it just runs out. I guess all this stuff's gone. I haven't seen it in a long time either. I just found a DVD and I bought it, but I need to watch it again.
Turn it on right now.
Get scared?
Yeah. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. It's been a while, so.
No, I brought up the two, like, just recently, I don't know, I forgot who it was. I'm not gonna mention any names, but somebody said they were driving, and they made a status update, and they're like, "Tell me why I just saw a dog on its hind legs as they were driving by it."
God.
Yeah, just standing up on its like hind legs. I was like, "What the heck?"
Giving them the paw. What it was driving by. No. God. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I've heard a couple of stories like that too, one story I heard was about how this people kept hearing something in its field back of their I guess what you call like their property, and I guess they lived out in the country, and every night they kept hearing this thing, kind of make noise, and they would hear like howling and crying, they thought it was a dog hurt. Mm-hmm. So one evening it just kept crying and kept crying. It was after midnight, and they were telling me that they got tired of hearing that thing crying around, so they jumped on one of their four-wheelers to go out there and see, maybe it was, dog got bit by some coyotes or something, might have been in pain or something, so took their four-wheeler out there, and they come upon the noise. The closer they got, they noticed their headlights hit the shape of something that was standing up. Mm-hmm. And they thought it was a person, so they started to talk to him, say, "Hey, what you doing out here? This is my property," and it turned around, and it was one of those half dog, half human things. Whoa. It turned around, looked at them, and they said as soon as they seen that, they jumped off that four-wheeler and just booked it back to their house. They left that four-wheeler out there, and I was sitting there thinking, man, I don't know if I would have done that either. I think I would have did a big old U, because I think that thing could go a lot faster than I could run, but maybe they could run fast. I don't know, but anyway, I don't know. But they left that next day. They said they went out there with some of their relatives to go see, and the only thing they found was big old dog tracks.
Really?
That was it.
Dang. So that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
I thought, I was cracking up. I was sitting there thinking, but there would have been no way I would have jumped off that. I mean, but then again, if you're scared.
Yeah, you kind of just.
You're not thinking. I don't know, but.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, I don't know. Then it's shocking to see that too.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, maybe it's like, oh, well, it's off, so there's not enough time to turn it on and
turn around and go.
If they turned it off. But then it's just also, it's like, I got to get out of here.
Just jumped off.
Start running. And then like, I don't know. And then also, like, depending how close you are to it, like if you go towards it, riding it, and you're trying to do a U-turn, then knowing me, dang, I'll flip over, and that four-wheeler be laying on me.
That dog come over there and get you. Start licking your face, dog. God. Dang it.
But I don't know. I'd probably try to get out of it on that four-wheeler. But I was going to ask you if that four-wheeler was gone, or if it was still there.
They never did say. I didn't ask. They just said they went back out to where that thing was at. I'm sure it probably was, but I don't know. I didn't ask. I guess next time I see them, I'll ask them.
Yeah.
But I was sitting there thinking, man, there would have been no way I would have jumped off that thing. I would have.
Chris. Just run.
I don't know. I probably run about 20 steps, and that'd be it. Well, I'd be already leaned over, breathing hard. So get me if you want me. No.
Well, it's nighttime too, so then you got to watch out for holes, and I'll be rolling my ankle.
Yeah.
I'll be getting hurt out there.
Dang, I don't know.
Tear my ACL.
So that's what I'm saying. I wouldn't have jumped off that. But again, I don't know what I would do if I was in that situation, Here, I'm talking big and bad, but, if I would have saw that, I don't know. I probably done the same thing. Probably go faster than that four-wheeler. Be that Scooby-Doo run. So what you know about that? No. Dang it.
Oh my gosh.
The next one.
Little people of Alaska, the Yupik have the story suggests they live in a different dimension than ours, but can move in and out of our world easily. Despite our extraordinary powers, they share some similarities with humans. They're often spotted hunting and gathering, for example. They also have a reputation as excellent craftsmen. Some say they love making mischief, like leading people astray in the wilderness. Others say they are good luck. Still others tell tales about kidnappings by them in which victims are spirited away to underground layers. Those who journey to that realm report that a day in the world is like a year in our time.
That's correct. All those LP stories, they'll always tell you there's those old guys that knew things. They would tell you, these LPs, they're different. They're the same like us, but it's like everything switched for them. For example, they can jump big bodies of water, with a single bound. But they come to a little crack in the ground, a little stream. They can't cross it. There's just other things that they used to say that with these LPs, things are just different. So again, I don't know. I like this story because I had shared, someone had sent me a video. I think it was on Instagram or something, and I posted it on Facebook, and it had that funny voice, and it was a pretty cool video, but it talked about these things. It said don't come into their woods. If you come to Alaska, you better stay out of the woods because he's waiting for you. And I shared that on my Facebook. Man, stuff blew up. Everybody was commenting. Had a lot of people from Alaska, talking about that video, and other people, talking about how they seen these things and how they had interaction with them. And some said that, they barely got away, and some said that they had good experience with them. So I don't know. I'd still like to go and possible go check that out. These are things that I think are very interesting that I would like to know more about. The other one is let's see how you say this again. We're not Yupik, or we're not any of those tribes, so we're having a difficult time pronunciating some of this stuff. I'm gonna say this is the Tizheruk. Piers and docks can be dangerous, especially with the Tizheruk around. This creature from the Inuit mythology is described as a giant sea serpent with a long tail that ends in a huge flipper. As the story goes, they can snatch someone from a dock without making a single sound. All the more reason to be careful when you're strolling down the dock in Alaska. There's another creature that, will grab you from the water too. So, again, they've got a lot of water monsters up there. We did that water monster episode, and to me, I don't know, this is just so awesome to me. to find out all these other ones that, you never even heard of. Our next one is cats, the half man and half bear. I wonder why they call it cats then. But anyway, the stories of the cats come from the Tlingit people, whose stories tell of creatures that came from the mating of a hunter named Kots and a shape-shifting she-bear. The unfortunate man doesn't fare well in this tale. He was killed by the cat and the half-bear children he created. In some tellings, Kots' death is directly due to the fact that he juggled two wives, one she-bear and one human. Some versions also attribute the constant rain in Alaska panhandle to the tears of the Kots' she-bear wife, who is still mourning his death. Man, that's crazy. He had two wives.
So is it cots or cats?
I don't know.
Chris.
I would say Kots.
You get everybody mad.
I know it. But you guys know, like I said at the beginning, apologize if we get these wrong, but we're not Alaska natives.
Not we. That's Chris.
Oh.
Chris Hill, everybody. He wrote this. His number is 918.
God. So he lives at... No. God.
He'll be at every OSU game.
God. So wait for him. No.
Those traveling alone in Alaska should keep their eyes out for the keelet, which often takes the form of a hairless dog. In fact, the only hair that this creature has is on its feet, which allows it to mask its tracks. Inuit stories of the keelet are almost always frightening ones, since the keelet is rumored to be a malevolent spirit. Golly. Some scholars have drawn parallels between the Inuit stories of the keelet and the European black dog myths, in which travelers are quite literally hounded by a malevolent black dog. The Sherlock Holmes story, The Hound of the Baskervilles, falls neatly into that tradition. So if you find yourself bedeviled by a wild dog in Alaska, you can comfort yourself in the fact that you're part of a long-standing global tradition. That was a tongue twister, Chris.
I know it.
Get your writing skills.
I was typing these out real quick late at night one night, man. Had Starbucks. God, be hyped up, man. Trying to throw those dudes, but to me, this black dog too, that they're talking about, they're right. A lot of people have stories of these huge evil black dogs. Some people say like they're the hounds of hell. Some will say, they came from, they're the devil's dogs. You'll hear it pertain like that. And even in some cultures, you hear that it's kind of a death dog, So there's a lot of stories from a lot of different cultures about this huge black dog. And I don't know. To me, that's pretty cool. So, again, I would like to try to, get an opportunity to hear more stories about that. So, if you guys got any stories like that of any of these things that we've named so far, send them in. We'd like to hear about it. And if you want to be real gracious, send us up there so we can find out for ourselves.
The people stealers, mythical residents of the Kenai Peninsula, take human form. However, they're easily distinguished by their fur covering and their long nose, which can reach up to a foot in length. The
Denali.
Denali? Or is it?
No, it's Denali.
Denali stories. The people stealers use bird and animal songs to lure their victims close. Then they snatch them up and spirit them away. However, the bird song of the people stealers are often imperfect, and that's your only warning that the people stealers are close. These creatures are only active in the summer months, but they've reportedly spirited away plenty of unsuspecting victims. It's best to stay alert.
To me, this is another real super cool one that, to me, I mean, you hear a lot of tribes talk about things that'll sing to you at night or, call you out, in that way, and to me, this is not only an Indian thing, but, you'll even hear stories across the water of things like this, the famous banshee, the crying woman, she'll sing a song for you too, and or she'll call you out, call you by name to have you come out. So, again, to me, this is another pretty interesting one that I mean, to me, when I hear these, there's thousands of stories from around the world, kind of that relate to these things. So anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool one. The last one, I think this is the last one, is the Alaska Bermuda Triangle. There's in between Anchorage and Juneau, you'll find a stretch of wilderness that's been the site of several mysterious disappearances. In fact, the Travel Channel alleges that people go missing in the area at twice the U.S. national average, 4 out of 5 every 1,000 individuals. As a result, some people compare the area to the Bermuda Triangle, another famous site riddled with, we'll just say, stories of disappearance. Two of the most famous disappearances within the Alaskan Triangle include the vanishing of a C-54 Skymaster military aircraft carrying 8 crew members and 36 passengers, and the disappearance of an aircraft carrying the 1972 U.S. House Majority Leader, Hill Boggs. No trace of either aircraft was ever found. Some blame swirling energy vortexes for the area's strange occurrence. Others point out the triangle's sheer size and remoteness, which makes search and recovery difficult, if not impossible. Still others point to shifting glaciers to explain the disappearance of entire aircraft. Whatever the cause, Alaska's remote areas offer plenty of dangerous, both natural and supernatural. So,
yeah, there's a lot.
And this is just a few of them.
Yeah, this is a few.
And so, again, Alaska's got, you guys got a whole bunch of stuff. So, again, if you guys got stories, send them in. If not, just send us airplane tickets so we can go up there and find some of this stuff.
But not to the triangle. Don't send us there.
Yeah, except for that one. No.
Don't just send us there. Now, is this the famous Bermuda Triangle? The one that everybody talks about? Or is this their own?
This is their own.
Their own, okay.
Yeah, this is their
Where's
own.
the other one at?
That's off the shores of Florida.
Oh, is it?
Florida and...
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I can't remember. That one's out in the ocean. This is out what they call the tundra. This is it's a land, I guess you might say. The other one's over water.
Okay.
So you just disappear in, I guess, their tundra.
Yeah.
So,
okay. All right. Yeah, man, that's pretty scary. If flying alone is scary, but then you worry about stuff like that. So,
but like they did say, if you was to crash in that tundra or that area, it'd be hard to find because things shift around, and so I don't know, it'd be hard to find you.
Yeah, screaming.
Well, no,
help! No one.
You're in a block of ice like that.
Yeah. They thaw you out.
They thaw you out. You finally go,
Demolition Man. But yeah, there's a lot to cover. There's a lot of stuff on here to where, we could just do an entire episode about, because I know there's more to talk about. There's more stories. But we just wanted to share haunted places, cryptids in that area.
Yep.
Like Alabama, if you don't think you have stuff, which I do hear people say, we don't have nothing in Alabama. We put up that whole list of things and everything. So, and even here, I know up there in Alaska, they know they have a lot of stuff and there's more to even talk about. But like Chris said, send us your stories. Proper way to say these words. Yeah, because I know I butchered them and I'm sorry, because it's hard to say other people's languages when you don't know how to say it and everything. So, yeah, so I guess that's probably it for this one, everybody. Send us your stories, send us whatever you got, videos maybe, send it to me or Chris. Chris, let them know where to follow you.
You can follow me at Christopher Honka Hill on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.
And then follow me, Russell Suneagle, on Facebook, Instagram, RussellMS49, Okie Podcast. Follow us at Spirit Talkers Podcast on Instagram, Spirit Talkers Podcast on Facebook. Spirit Talkers, we have our own profile, so go add us as a friend. TikTok, Spirit_Talkers, and check out our merch. Everybody's been wanting merch. Nobody's bought any.
Get that Spirit Talkers uns. Order 2 of them. God.
But yeah, it'll help us out with if we go anywhere. We got some shows coming up. Oh, so that's another thing. Follow us on social media, and I'm sure everybody will know what we got going on. But we got Pawnee, Oklahoma, October 19th. And then we got the Alternative Market, October 12th. Check us out there, and then follow us on social media. Keep up with us, and then I guess we'll see everybody later.